Sawtooth Dave. Happy pre-4th of July. Hope y'all had a great week. Almost in July, right? So 4th of July be coming up this week, so I guess in celebration of, I got the Benchmade Crooked River and M4. This is a custom version. It was gifted me by Mr. Steve Clare. I don't have any other Benchmade, so this is the only Benchmade I have. I think it's the only access lock I have too. I think that sucks. And the only Americana knife I have left now. So it's kind of the last of the older generation I used to like and used to collect. So still cool to have. Thank you again, Steve. All right, so the Soulstone Brother Doom's knife was released yesterday, as a matter of fact. I wanted to go over quick thoughts with it. So this knife looks like it's just a design, right? But when you get this in hand, it's very functional and surprisingly works better in a lot of different grips than I thought it would. So I got this on Friday of Blade Show. On that Sunday, that same weekend, my brother and I got my dad a big screen TV, and, you know, all the boxes and all the crap you got to cut up in that. So, and a bunch of cardboard he had laying around. But I cut up 4 boxes of cardboard with it, or 4 trash bags full of cardboard. You know, made them, I don't know, 6 by 6 or so slices, so it just fit in this trash can better. So I did initially a lot of cuts with it. I will say that the grip, just straight up, if you're just trying to cut through stuff, you know, you still deal with thick blade stock, so it's still chunky boy. The pocket clip, the little hot spotty here. So I think this spot right here and this spot right here are both like spots for me that maybe it's back, yeah, this spot back over here, that kind of sort of just didn't agree with me. So just to show you up close, the pocket clip is kind of funky. But there's not a whole lot of places to take this. Like I guess either if I make another one or I might just trim this one down. I'm not sure, to make it more what I want out of the pocket clip. But I probably will modify the pocket clip. And that's really, honestly, my only real complaint with this knife. If you look at how it's shaped, and there's no way it's going to come out in video, but I'm going to try to show you. It's, you know, you normally see a curved or a contoured handle, and it's like you can feel the contour. It's like elongated more one way and up more. This is pretty much just round. So when it puts in the hand, it really is a nice smooth feeling in the hand. It's really hard to put it. Sorry, dog's down there getting into stuff. I'm not sure what he's doing. Hey, Sherman. Hey, chill, dude. So it's just a real smooth transition. Like all the edges are here, are all got nice chamfers, except for right around where the bolt holes are. So let's see if you can see what the bolt hole is right here. See, it's got that little up right here, and it is a little bit of a spot because of that, but not much. It's like it's very little. But that's about those are about the only complaints that I can think of. This is pocketed, so it's somewhat of a lighter knife for as big as a knife it is. Who was that I was talking to the other day? Brother Jose. Me and Jose were talking about it. Let me get another just for size comparison knife. So this is a Sawtooth underneath it. So obviously the Sawtooth's bigger, but not that much bigger. And if you look at like width-wise, you can see the Soulstone is actually fatter, chunkier in the hand, so it does fill the hand out better than the Sawtooth does as far as the girth goes. But yeah, I can highly recommend this one, man. It's if you think it's just the design, like it's not. It's definitely it surprised me with how much you can actually use, like that precision cut, like up here, and like all bigger knives like this, you know, if you're trying to cut through something that's harder to, you know, you gotta get wedged through that material. But if you're cutting in, like slicing it like on the ground, so what I did when I cut that cardboard up, put 2 layers of cardboard down and then just slice through like I was slicing carpet or something. It worked great. Sorry about the background noise. Got both dogs, cat, AC. Hey, the fans aren't running, so at least you got that much. Anyway, if you're at all interested, definitely hit up Doom. I'm not sure exactly where to get these, but if you hit him up, I'm sure he'll let you know where to get them from. Website or whatever, I don't know. So, kind of a continuation of last week, we were talking about the Medford Black Card program that he just kind of started. Before, when I did that video last week, the only live he did was basically trying to figure out what was going on with figuring out as he goes, I guess, with the Black Card thing. And I guess he got more supporters than he was initially anticipating, so he's kind of augmented the rules and the situation, I guess, a little bit. And I gotta admit, I was kind of probably a little bummed at first when I first heard it, but then afterwards I thought about it and I'm like, you know, man, it really wouldn't have changed anything. Ultimately, the given the $1,000 for the black card and having a mystery knife, it's still going to be that. It's just not going to be, like, at first he said like something like a Gen 1 big guy, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. And then now I've heard gentleman knife, so gentleman knife doesn't excite me at all. Big bruiser definitely excites me, and I think when you talk about Medford brand, I think more people would be excited about big bruiser than gentleman. But hey, he's going to do what he wants to do anyhow, so really nothing I'm going to say that's going to change that. There was some, I guess on the second video, or maybe someone up in that video, I'm just flicking the T1 while we're talking here. There was talk about making some kind of registry with your actual full name on it or something like that, and whether the black card will have my name on it or some other name. When I signed up for it, it let me say Sawtooth Dave and Hot Rod. When the card comes, I'll show you what it says. Like, that's all I can say. They sent me an email and it still said Sawtooth Dave and Hot Rod, so I confirmed that that's what I wanted on my card. Let's see what I get. I'm not sure what I will or won't get. So I know that Brother Steve had called and wanted his YouTube channel put on it instead of his correct name, and I basically said no as far as I know. So we'll see. The whole starting a registry or something like that online, like, I don't know. It's not my thing at all. But I've already signed up for it. So that's, again, they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm still a supporter. So ultimately a little disappointed in that situation already, but at the same time, it wouldn't have changed anything. I probably would have still done this exactly the same thing as what I already did. So I had anticipated getting more done than I thought I was going to this week. My priority right now, or like mentally, is like the knife I'm working on with Sharif, which I'm just gonna show you. Basically, is not really made any progress, but I'm just still kind of laying it out. I think I've got these in here, and I started a backspacer, but I don't really like what I did with the backspacer, so I'll probably will end up making another one. And then I'm kind of sort of playing with dots about where to put stop pins and how I want to make it work. And then I had to actually talk to Sharif about lock cutout position and that sort of thing, and he straightened me out on a couple things I was thinking, which is why I wanted to work with him in the first place. Like, not only is he a cool dude, great designer, but like, he's got the mechanical knowledge and the engineering behind. Like, when I have questions, I can just, hey, why are we doing this instead of this? And he can tell me. I don't have to guess or try, experiment myself. Like, I'm talking to someone that's already a professional, so it's already paying dividends working with him. Point at hand I'm trying to get to here is, we'll do the giveaway here in a minute. I kind of sort of forgot, but I just looked down and saw the box. So I'll go in probably the other room, or my wife's shipping container, and I'll try to do with that. I don't know, is that what we want to do? Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Go in there. I don't know how many people I gotta write all that stuff down. We'll make a list and do that, like computer draw things, which is probably my least favorite way of doing giveaways, but kind of unprepared here, so I guess that's the easiest, safest way to do it. I'd rather just hand write a list. Maybe I will. We'll see. That's okay. All right. So, Jaden's Evo here. This one did have some issues. Okay, so I did a video of me taking the knife apart the first time and then showing some issues. So I'm gonna try to splice that in right about here. All right. So we're working on Jaden's Evo. Sorry about the side view, but I can't get to the tools and do everything I need with that big old ring light in the way. So hopefully you can see all right. But I not have this open yet. I've had other Evos and done those, but this is the first time on this one. So let's just keep it overall lit real quick. Remind everybody. So mirror polish, so fingerprint magnet, solid lockup. What do you say that is? That close to 50, maybe close to 50, somewhere in there. So a good solid lockup. See if we see any signs, anything. So everything on the lock bar, lock face looks okay to me. And then we're checking for detent lash, and you can see in this position it looks like a lot. In person it's not that bad, but it is moving a decent amount. All right, so let's bust this thing apart. Let's see. I think most of these Chinese knives, I'd like for you to disassemble from this side, but I can't remember, so I'm just going to try this and see if it'll break. Okay, it's breaking free. So like I said, I've never took this one apart, so I think that's coming out no problem. Sorry you gotta watch me disassemble this, but figured you guys said you wanted to come all the way through the whole process. So this is pretty much how I approach everything. So it's typical engine builders, you kind of sort of sniff around before you actually just tear into something. Make sure you don't see any signs on the outside. Just kind of take your time as you're doing it. So that's pretty much the approach I'm taking here as well. Just want to kind of go through everything, and as I'm entering in here, kind of where you guys can see it the first time taking this apart too. Okay, so pivot looks good. Looking at this side, so we're just looking at the detent itself. If I put this in camera, let's see, detent itself. Does it have a flat spot? It might be flat spotted. I don't know if you can see that with that white background. Don't look like it's crowned. Look like it's got a flat spot there. So it may have a flat spot in it, which may affect detent a little bit, but I don't know. It's saying multi-roll ball bearing system, but looking at this, does that not look like a skiff to you? It's missing a bearing. See that bearing right there is gone. But maybe it's, oh, there's the bearing right there. It fell out. Holy crap. Hang on a second. Show it to you. See it right there on top of that screw? So that fell out. It's laying over there. I don't think that's normal. But before I forget, let me just grab the tool real quick, because I'll lose it if I don't. I'm going to go ahead and scoop that little ball up. Okay. Go back in. Okay, it went back in, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. You guys with Evos, let me know if this is common or uncommon. So we're looking at a couple things here. We already saw that the detent basically had a flat spot on it, so let's look at the detent hole itself. I can see better through the camera, I think, so I'm gonna kind of share you guys' eyes for a minute. The detent hole, see it's got something shiny right here on this side. I believe someone's been in here. I can't tell for sure, but I believe someone's been in here. See how it's just shiny in that one spot, nowhere else? Hope that makes sense to you. See, look all around it, you don't see anything but that one little spot right there. I believe someone tried to modify this somehow. See it there? Hope you guys can see that. So this is going to be an unusual circumstance. It could be from the detent itself, but this is probably going to be an unusual circumstance to fix this detent. But we'll kind of go through it. The other bearing, and look, one of those fell out too. So I guess this probably is a common thing. Are these stock bearings? You guys with Evos, let me know. Okay, that goes in there. That went in there, and then obviously this is coming out that side. So there we go. So all blow it apart. My initial thoughts was take something like this and just make a larger diameter in it. So this is just the stop pin. We could actually, try it a couple different ways, but you can see it's a straight shank. It doesn't have a step, at least it doesn't feel like it has a step. I'm just going to grab a pair of calipers real quick. And once again, my calipers in the shop, sorry. So you guys are just getting stream of conscious. I'm not sure how I'm going to fix this. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to contact the owner before I do anything with it anyhow. But you see that's not shouldered, it's just a straight pin. So in order to make this a larger diameter, basically I'm going to have to make a custom pin with shoulders on it that are stepped down. So this shoulder, it'll go up and then over and then back down to this diameter. So basically I have to make a new pin with the step of the increased size in the middle. So that seems like the most logical solution, just sitting here talking about it. Is this tapped or anything on the inside, or just hollow? I think it's just hollow. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it looks like it's just hollow, no tapped or nothing. So I'm not sure why they use that style, but it feels like a pretty lightweight piece. Like it doesn't feel like stainless or something. So I don't know, maybe this is titanium or something. I don't know. It's kind of strange why they did what they did, but it feels like a softer material. I don't see any spots on this that would like indicate excess amount of wear on this stop pin. So now we got a couple other things we can kind of consider here. So the lockup was fairly at 50%, so it could probably go back over. So the larger stop pin would work. See, on this particular model, let's see if I can make this make sense. Just holding it here. So on the stop pin side of it, if this pin sitting here is a larger diameter, it's going to push it out, which basically takes the lash out. As long as this tip still stays in the frame, it's good to go. Can you even see what the hell I'm doing? Sorry guys, I'm over here just explaining this stuff and I look at the camera, I'm not even in camera. Let's try this again. Okay, so if I put this pin make this pin larger, it's going to slightly push the blade this direction. Hope that makes sense. As long as this tip still stays in the frame, which I believe it will, it's not that much lash, and it takes up that detent lash, that's pretty much the goal we're going to do. The other thing it's going to affect is when it locks out, which actually this doesn't affect lockout. These stop pins are controlling lockout. So the only thing this pin controls is the stop, and that's why it's not stainless. That's why it's some other material, which makes it easier to take the impact. So that might be the solution, but the first thing we got to figure out is what's going on with this hole, the diameter, and what's going on around it, because no matter what I do, I think it's always going to have a weird feel with that there. So I got to get my magnifying glass little setup going on and me personally look at it, and then I'll kind of get back with you. But that's my initial thoughts, is let's figure out what's going on with this hole, see if we can't either doctor it up or fix it somehow. We'll check the diameter of it, make sure it's possible to get the diameter of the detent we already have currently in this to work. In other words, is this hole bigger than this detent? Then maybe it be. Sometimes they are. Sometimes after the modification that someone did, maybe it enlarged it a little bit, and maybe you'll always have that unless you're just kind of riding the edge of that with the detent. So that's the initial thoughts anyhow. So that's the Evo. I believe this is a 4.0. Don't quote me on that because I'm not an Evo person, but I believe this is a 4.0. So I'm gonna pause here and I'll get back with you in a minute, or whenever I get back with you. Alright, so back for a quick update. So I took the calipers and I measured basically the diameter. See if I can get one to focus here. I basically took it and measured the diameter. You can see it's close, but it's 0.62 ball. And I also took a depth here. So the depth was 0.275. So if you take 0.275 times 2, it's 0.55. So that's the diameter I need to get the full diameter of that ball inside this blade. So I have gauge pins, which I mean, I guess I can show you the case of what these are actually, because this is a little cheapo set, but so you guys know, I guess. So gauge pin set. Sorry you can't even see that, but I'll open it up where you can see it. You can see that these are all numbered what size they are. So I went through here and figured out that the 0.57 pin is what fits in this hole. So this pin, this sits in here, it's 0.57. It's actually a little loose with the 0.57, so the 0.58 kind of starts in it a little bit, but the 0.57 is really the size that's already in. So it's to right size. So I don't have a size issue causing detent problems. That's another common problem you have. Certain other knives, like I say, especially like older Spydercos, they tend to like put the 0.62 ball on, and then only drill the hole like 0.35 thou or something. So some of the older ones have that issue. At least the ones I've had, anyhow, from back in the day. So, is there a good solution to fix this hole? Not really. It's not that bad. But what I didn't notice, because I was so focused on the detent, is someone has definitely come through here with a Dremel and created like a, I guess they're trying to create like a detent ramp, but you can see how long that ramp is. You can see it's just dremeled. There's really no way that that's going to get fixed. Like the detent ball is pretty much, that's the reason it's flat. It's wearing it. You can see it in there. It's wearing a track in that. But also, if you look at the lock bar itself, they made it so deep. This part of the lock bar is riding on that part of the blade until it gets to the height where the detent ball will take over. So I'd imagine that some of that flatness from that detent is coming from this. So the only solution I really do have is to make this stop pin bigger to get rid of the problem. Will the detent wear out quicker because it's flat spotted and it's running on that? Probably. The problem with a lot of these Chinese made knives is they like to push the detent ball into the lock bar insert. This is hardened steel, so while you can change them, it's not the easiest thing, and if you overpress, you crack these and they break. Ask me how I know. Y'all remember a while back when Dan sent his or Daniel sent his something to see company J-Cape in here, and I had to make a whole new lock bar insert for him. So that was a different story. I was drilling it. I wasn't just replacing the same one, but at the same time, like, that's a lesson learned. Like, I do not like this style. It just seems to happen a lot on the Chinese OEMs. Good for them that they made it work. For me personally, I just don't like that style. I'd much rather have the detent ball pressed in titanium, softer material to make it do what it's supposed to do, right? At least that's my experience thus far. Like, I maybe once I get more experience, I'll think differently about it. But for right now, I'd much rather have that ball in titanium. So I'm not messing with the detent. I'm not gonna take it out. I'm not gonna try to repress it in. The only option I see to get rid of this lash is making a new stop pin. Okay, so I'm gonna contact Jaden, see what he says, see if he agrees with what I said, and then I'll probably end up making it, putting it back together. I'll show you when it's done. All right. All right, so we're back on this Evo again. So stop pin, you see it's not shouldered. See I got a little drawn right here. So, you know, it's basically this size on the ends because it's got to fit in there, but it kind of has to step up. So the thing I didn't take before I went in there and tried to make one is this center measurement. So the one I got in there, the step doesn't match right, so I'll have to make a new pin. But this diameter, I wasn't really sure what diameter to make. So as you can see in there, it was 230-ish. So that's exactly what I made it, 230-ish. So it's 230. So I don't know if you can see the step in there. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus. Let's see. Focus right here. Hopefully y'all see that it's stepped in there, and it's at 230. So it's sitting at 230. So could I go bigger than that and get rid of some lash? So I'm looking at this knife. I'm just yanking on it. You can see it's a little bit spongy right there. I think that's the side of the hole, the detent hole. So you know, this is pretty good. Like when you feel it up here, it's still, you can see a pretty good detent in that. But it's just a little spongy. You kind of see it as I get towards the end. A little bit spongy in this side, but the blade is almost sticking out. So as I run my finger across this way, I'm pushing it in, but I can feel the tip of that blade. It's not bad where I think I might snag myself, but there you go. See me lifting it just a little bit? So I can snag it a little bit. So I can't really go any bigger than that. So I can't get any more lash than that out of it with just the stop pin. It would require more stuff. But the action on it now, it's not like tremendous or nothing, but it feels good. Like you can see when you just naturally close it, and then I'm just gonna push on it just a little bit. So it's got just a little, you can see just a little bit, but see the blade poking out right here? See it a little bit? That right there, that position right there is where it need to be, have all the lash out of it. But the blade's outside the knife. So from this one, because it was been modified, this is about the best I can do. I really can't do anything better than that. And I'm debating on whether to even make another pin or not, because, let's see if I can even show you. It's so little of a step. Maybe, there it goes. You see it in there? So it's so little of a step that I don't know if it bothers me or not to leave it that way. So I may just leave it that way. I don't know. I'll talk to Jaden and see if he's good with that. But it's basically the best I can do with this particular job without doing more. Like, if you change the detent ball size, you can go back in the blade and kind of reread the blade and kind of sort of move positions and make it work out better. But like, until you're getting crazy, like, and honestly, like at this particular project, like, I don't want to go too crazy on it, because as it is right now, you put the stock pin back on it and you're back to where you started. So I think this is where this one's going to stop, as in I got it, to me, good enough. Hopefully it's good enough for Jaden. I'm going to send it back to him and let him make the call on that. But that's the Evo fix. So hope you all enjoyed, learned, whatever. And of course I couldn't leave it alone, so I made new stop pin. Well, let's see if I can show you. There we go. Well, there's the other two. There's the original. If it'll focus. Thank you. There's the original. And that was the original. That's the shoulder pin I made, the first one. And then I made this other one now. So that's the finale, because I couldn't leave it with that shoulder pin in there not right. And I wanted to tighten up, so it's like a slight press now instead of just slip fit. So just tightens the whole thing up a little bit, but done project. Hope y'all learned something. All right, so hopefully I didn't bore you guys with that stuff, but it, you know, what seems kind of simple to me may or may not be simple to other people. So if you have any questions about what I did and why I did what I did, let me know. Ultimately, the knife still has a little bit of the lash, like I was trying to show in that video. Like I did these videos most of the time, they're like at night after work and everything like that. So, you know, it ain't the most energetic, but you can still see it's a little bit, hopefully you can still see, it's still got just that little bit of lash in it. So it's not crisp. I think the only way to get that detent super crisp is gonna be to make that hole oversized in the blade and put a bigger detent in it. Other than that, I think this is about as good as we're gonna get. Like, I haven't talked to Jaden yet. Maybe he'll see this video, and maybe I'll have to like tell him to go see this video later on to see if he's happy with it or not. But that'd be the only other step to fix this. And I don't know, y'all tell me, which Evo is this anyhow? Is this the 3, the 4? I can't keep track. I just know it's every time I see them, I think they're going to be bigger than what they are. And I mean, they're not small, but I just think they're going to be bigger than what they are. They're just kind of smaller than I always remembered. I guess they're more like S&G size. Let's see. So I don't have an S&G, but 229, which to me is like, it's a small knife, but it's not like the smallest knife. But it's, you know, grip wise, you can see taking up the whole grip, but it's enough, right? So that's kind of sort of way I look at the Evo too. Like if you just look at just the grip, it's kind of smallish. I'm on the back, kind of sort of there. But when I get into the choil, it folds out pretty good. So overall, for me, yeah, even the Chavez is bigger, huh? Yeah, pretty close. But yeah, I think that's what it is for me, and more than anything else is like, it's that forward finger position works for me, but the backwards don't. So I guess it's just a little bit small for me. Like I love the style of the knife. When what's his name, John, first started doing those, and he kind of blew up real quick, which is, yeah, is awesome. He's an awesome grinder. Like I've seen some of his other work, like the grinds he do are on his, even regrinds and stuff. Cause I remember seeing him do regrinds before he actually came out with that model. But I've seen him do a sawtooth that was just amazing. Like he's broken, definitely grind. Like he got some skills. So I admire his work. I just wish that it was a, you know, not CKF version of one of his knives that was obtainable, because I guess you could get custom still. I don't know. But when I see customs that start at like 2,000 and work up, like, as I'm saying that, oh, wrong one. Yeah, idiot. Other pocket. I got this one in pocket, which starts at 2,000 and goes up. So I guess I'm eating my own words already. But you know, generally speaking, when I see customs that start at 2,000, I'm already writing them off. Like most people say that about a knife that's $1,000 and up, right? So I'm that extra special idiot, I guess. And by the way, I showed you the Mauser, the Major Sin Eater. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if I even showed this or not. I did this pocketing stuff on the back. It didn't really work out like I wanted it. Basically, that hole is slotted in a weird position where I couldn't get the cutout straight because it's at an angle. And if I did it this angle, if I would have kept it straight at the angle, it would have been angled down. It wouldn't work for the finger choil. And then also I got really thin back up in here. You can see I went through different size of end mills trying to get it where I wanted, but I basically screwed it up, but tried to fix it the best I could. It's just a weird cutout, but it definitely works. And I actually like the bike way better now. The action was kind of lazier before, and with the weight reducing, it actually made the blade faster, which made this knife better. I don't know why I got side skirted on this, but sorry. What was my thing? Oh yeah, so that's it for the Evo. I think I'm done with Evo, unless Jaden wants more, and more would require, you know, a new lock bar insert, whether it was modifying that one or making a whole new one. I'd rather not. I guess I could modify that one, but anytime you're dealing with hardened stuff, it's a lot harder to get the right size you want, get the right press you want without, I don't know, just it's harder for me. I haven't as much experience with the hardened, pressing stuff into hardened metals as I do like the titanium. It's just way easier, more malleable. So I'm guessing this video is somewhere in the 20-something minutes already, if not more. So it's time to do the giveaway. I got everything kind of packed up in this little box, kind of ready to go. So I'm gonna figure out how to do this giveaway and splice it in and go from there. All right, we back. I said to hell with the computer stuff. I don't like ever doing that. So we had 57 names, so we have some extra cards here. So I did Joker 1, Joker 2, the old Ace of Spades, old Ace of Hearts, and old Ace of Diamonds. Well, I said it backwards, but you know what I mean. And then hopefully you can see, these are a brand new deck. So you can see all the cards in the suits. And then I'll uncover this so you can see the names associated with that. The old cards, they're both bicycle cards, the brand bicycle card. So size-wise, they're all going to fit together, so it really doesn't matter. And it's my game anyhow, so I'm going to play it how I want to play it. So, brand new deck, as you can see right there. This deck actually was gifted to me by Snuzz Nuzz, so shout out to Snuzz Nuzz. Actually, every time I play games like this on the camera, I always think about Snuzz, so I just give him a shout out real quick. All right, so while we're talking, yeah, hopefully, let me see if I can zoom this in so y'all can see it a little better. Okay, there's the first half. So hopefully you can make sure Ace of Spades through Ace of Kings, or through King of Spades, Diamonds from Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to King, Clubs, Hearts, and bonuses. Okay, so Let's see if I can turn it sideways in. There we go. You have to turn your head sideways, but your name should be on there. So if your name's not on there for any reason, and I missed you, let me know. We'll make it up to you next time. Maybe do something else, something in the future, maybe something like that. So I'm just shuffling this deck. So while I'm shuffling the deck, I wanted to thank the couple of you who actually try to help me with the whole heat treat thing. I still need to reach out to Kyle Cooley, kind of told me to go see, what's Brian's name? Transparent Knives. And I need to get with him, ask him some advice, but I don't think I'm going to pursue trying to use him. Well, buddy T-Mac, that y'all may or may not have known, I've known T-Mac for quite a few years now. You know, through the knife thing, not personally. But he works for a heat treat facility, and he's got some vacation coming up and stuff like that. But we figured out a time that's going to work for us. It'll probably be like the end of July, which gives me a little bit of time to kind of sort of figure out what I'm going to do with the Diavolo, which is the knife that me and Sharif's working on. That's Sharif's name for that knife, is Diavolo. We're going to figure out what's going on. I'm going to try to get that figured out so that I can send him all that stuff. I have another reblade that I'm going to be working on the Tier XL, which ain't really a full XL anymore. It's something that I just modified and kind of had fun with, but I'm going to send all that stuff over to him. The other alternative, commercial alternative, is Peter's. Quite other people gave me some other smaller people to hit up, and I did hit them up. One was a knife maker in, I can't remember where he's out of, but he doesn't even have electricity hooked up to his ovens anymore. There was several different suggestions that people had. Man, I can't thank you guys enough for the suggestions, because honestly, like, there's, if you were just into heat treating, like, what's his name, Transparent Knives is, and what's the other guy's name that does the chef knives? Italian name, I can't remember. Steve, I want to say Caballero, but it's not, because he's a skater. Whatever his name is, that does, they're really into the whole knife performance, heat treat style things. But if I was one of those guys, I would just concentrate on heat treat, because there are so many people out there looking for quality heat treat, don't have the time, energy, or skills, or machinery to do it. And man, you can make a ton of money. Like, I think heat treating knives, like me personally, like to have like a, you know, personalized heat treat on a batch of knives, man, I think you guys could clean up doing something like that. So I don't know, just a thought, I guess. But like, I haven't looked, like, everybody commercially, like, I haven't seen, I found a ton of like Boss heat treat. They want your steel, your name, your address on the knife, not on a card, on the knife or whatever they're heat treating before they'll even touch it. So like, there's like a bunch of little weird stuff like that. So I'm guessing it's probably because of organization for them, but there's really no, Peters is really the only commercial one that I know of that's like advertising for knife stuff. And I've heard mixed reviews on some of the Peters stuff, because it's basically done, you know, in bulk. But if you're a small batch, kind of like a custom knife maker that wanted custom heat treatment, man, I really wish I knew more about it, and I will climb up on it and know it. I think that obvious that it's going to be essential to making stuff is going to be getting an oven and learning how to do all that stuff. And that's why I'm grateful for you guys that actually have the knowledge. Like I said, I'm going to hit up Brian at Transparent Knives on Instagram and see if I can pick his brain for some knowledge. I think Shane knows Steve too, so I might try to hit him up as well and see if I can get some basic knowledge, like what equipment to buy and that sort of thing. Because looking at ovens, it gets kind of confusing of like what's better than what. Like, even heat looks like they're really good, and then they have varying different sizes and temperature ranges, which will be like 200 degrees different. But that 200 degrees makes a difference, then I should get the other one, right? All right. Have we shuffled enough? I think we have. See, how can I do this to be fair? Because I can kind of sort of, you guys can't see me, but I'm gonna turn my head and I'm just gonna kind of fan the knife, or I'm shuffling without my head turned. I wish I could show you this, but we're just gonna take and cut. So I don't know what I'm cutting, and this top card right here is gonna be the winner. All right, so that's 5 of hearts. So let's find the hearts. Hearts right here, 5 of hearts, which is Mary Morey. Mary Morey, you are the winner of this giveaway with all the other stuff that I mentioned last week, which I don't even remember what all's in it. Hit me up, Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, you can do Facebook. If you don't have either one of those, let me know and we'll try to figure something out, because I don't do the email thing, at least, you know, as of yet. So congratulations to Mary Morey 595. You see how everybody sees that? Knows it's fair. Okay. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this week. So y'all have a great 4th of July. Y'all stay safe out there. All right, see y'all next week.